You're welcome back to class. And in this lesson, the fifth lesson, right? Yes, the fifth lesson, we would look at the values of Scrum. The fifth lesson of the first module. The first module is Scrum, the framework. And here we're looking at the values of Scrum. In the last lesson, we looked at the empiricism of Scrum, which refers to the pillars of Scrum. But this time around, we'll be looking at the values of Scrum. Right, let's go. So the values of Scrum are five. There are five of them. Of course, I believe we all know what values are. Most organizations have defined different values. Some could say honesty, outstanding, hard work, diligence, and all the rest. So also in Scrum, there are five of those values. And essentially, I'll need you to understand this, that the values of Scrum is for the team. The five values of Scrum had been designed for the teams. It could be one team or multiple teams. It's to ensure that teams are able to work together. So that is essentially what the five values of Scrum are designed for. So there are five of them, and we shall quickly go over them. So Scrum really is built on five values that are critical to its implementation and success. Just as we could see on the screen, these values guide the behavior and decision-making process of the Scrum team, fostering an environment conducive to effective work and product delivery. So the Scrum values is to help the team work together, is to help the team build together, bound together, and deliver value to the stakeholder or the end user. So we'll look at them one after the other. The first one, as we have on the screen, is courage. Courage as one of the five values of Scrum. Now, the Scrum team members have the courage to do the right thing, to work on tough problems, and to address complex issues head-on. That is what courage in Scrum focuses on, whereby the team could deliver on the right thing. They have the courage to do the right thing, to work on tough problems, and to address complex issues head-on. But not just that, the team also is not afraid to experiment and fail, as failure is seen as an opportunity to learn and grow. There's a practice we call fail fast. So Scrum advocates for experimentation. Without courage, you can't go head on to experiment on your processes. Scrum believes that within failure, there are learning paths that would lead to growth. So courage allows teams to tackle difficult and uncertain tasks with confidence. Of course, courage promotes an environment where individuals feel safe to express their opinions, give feedback, and advocate for quality and sustainability in their work, even when it means having difficult conversations. So courage helps the team to do what is best for the project and deliver value. Without courage, experimentation would be seen as difficult. Then the second value in Scrum talks about focus. We would see bit similarities but clear differences in these values also. So for focus, the team would be able to focus on the work of the sprint and the goals of the Scrum team. So that's what they focus on. Focus is on the sprint and focus is on the goal for the Scrum team. So focus narrows down. So we could relate courage as the spirit behind it, but focus narrows down on the work in that sprint and also the goal of the Scrum team. Scrum advocates for team delivery. Yes, you have independent members, but those members work together. This means prioritizing the work that contributes most significantly to the achievement of the sprint goal and ultimately to the project success. So focus helps to prioritize which work would give us the highest value or the highest achievement in that sprint goal. What happens on the job is when a team commences a sprint. In the previous lesson, I mentioned that the sprint is a period in which work is carried out. So when a team is working on in a particular sprint, requirements could still be coming in. I mentioned in the last class where I related on adaptation, where the team is adjusting to what the stakeholders want. However, in the course of a sprint, when the requirements are still coming in, the team still needs to focus on the highest priority that would deliver value to the end users. So focus helps to prioritize in this direction towards the project's success. And by maintaining focus, the Scrum team can concentrate its efforts on completing the tasks that matter most. Completing the tasks that matter most, leading to more efficient and effective work processes. It helps in minimizing distractions and ensures that the team is working on the right task at the right time. Working on the right task at the right time. When we begin to expand on product backlogs, I would demonstrate to you what we mean by different tasks in the product backlog. There will be different tasks per time. There will be different demands from different stakeholders. More particularly when your team delivers for multiple stakeholders. Let's say, for instance, your team is a software development team and you work at the back end, let's say for a particular API. That is an application protocol, application program interface. And in the course of that, you have different departments as your stakeholders demanding for different prioritized needs. Your team, based on your capacity and availability, would need to focus on which task would give you the highest delivery. So focus is one of the key, of course, as we can see here, values of Scrum that helps the team to deliver. So the team members focus on the work of the sprint and the goal of the Scrum team. I mentioned that earlier. So let's move to the next one, commitment. Commitment. Members of the team commit to achieving their common goals and to the Scrum framework itself. Let's begin to look at those differences, commitment and focus. This commitment is talking about what they sign up for. The team members have signed up to deliver in a particular sprint. So commitment talks about that zeal towards upholding what you have signed up for. Commitment to achieve their common goals and commitment to the Scrum framework. On the job, you would say some members of a team that independently just want to deliver their work, not necessarily following a pattern of work. We often refer to such as working in silos. Scrum does not advocate working in silos. Scrum is big on working together. So, as a Scrum Master or a knowledgeable product owner, you should know how to put your team members together, working together to deliver the sprint goal, working and committed also to the Scrum framework. Now, commitment includes the goals of the sprint, the goals of the Scrum team, and the goals of individuals as part of their personal development and contribution to the team. So commitment is putting everything together, what each member and what the team had signed up for. We are committed to delivering this. Commitment ensures that every member is dedicated to doing their part in delivering a successful product. That's where we talk about cross-functional teams, where everybody has something to bring to the table. Everybody now is committed to delivering their own bits on that table. Commitment encourages team members to take ownership of their work and the success of the project. Commitment also means being dedicated to continuous improvement, learning, and adapting to changes. Of course, in the previous lesson, we looked at the empiricism of Scrum, talking about transparency, inspection, and adaptation. So commitment as a value of Scrum also captures commitment to the empiricism of Scrum. There are a couple of team members that you would come across on this path that they may not want to be transparent in their deliveries, but as working in teams, you need to ensure that the team is able to come together and there is transparency, there is commitment to Scrum framework that is the vehicle for you to deliver value. Then we'll go from there to respect. Respect talks about team members having regard or respect for each other, to be capable and independent or interdependent people. Let me explain that. Respect is that reference for every member of the team, that each member is capable to deliver. Each member knows his or her onions and would deliver on the set task. Each member is independent, but however also interdependent, meaning they could work alone, but at the same time they are working together with others. It ensures that everyone could come from diverse work background or different regions, but everybody has a value to deliver. Everybody has something tangible to contribute to the team. So respect as a value in Scrum ensures inclusiveness of everybody. So all the team members would see themselves as key stakeholders, internal stakeholders, team members of that particular team, meaning everyone has something to deliver. Respect ensures a collaborative and supportive team environment where all contributions are valued. It helps in building a positive team culture where individuals feel valued, leading to higher motivation and engagement. Scrum values every person on the project, and that's why respect is drafted in as one of the values in Scrum. And on the last one, talking about openness. Openness is where the team and its stakeholders agree to be open about all the work and the challenges with performing the work. That's openness. I made mention earlier in the last class when I was talking about transparency that as a pillar in Scrum is transparency, where everything is open, nothing is hidden. So openness as a value of Scrum is where both the team and the stakeholders, they've come to an agreement that the work and the process of delivery is open. When there are challenges, it's raised, it's thrown up, there's good communication within and without. And this includes being transparent about progress, difficulties, and learning also. Where you, as a Scrum Master or the product owner, you realize that one of the team members need to upskill in a particular skill set, you would be open about it, because such skill set would be needed for in delivering that particular product. So Scrum ensures that open communication, open engagement, transparent ways of working. Openness fosters an environment of trust and transparency where team members feel comfortable sharing successes, failures, and feedback. These values support adaptive planning, problem solving, and collaboration. That's what openness would give you. Openness ensures that everyone has the information needed to make informed decisions and adjustments. So Scrum teams and stakeholders agree to be open about work and the challenges and blockers. Blockers means when they have obstacles that need to be moved. So in all, we could say that these values create a strong foundation for the Scrum team to work effectively, adapt to changes, and deliver high quality products that meet the needs of the stakeholders or the end users. So that is on the values of Scrum. It's important that you note these 5 values of Scrum. I often share in class that to easily remember them, we could pick them out one after the other and form an acronym for it. F, O, R, C, and C. So you could put that to a word that would aid how to remember the 5 values of Scrum. So that will be the end of this class. We shall be meeting again in the next class where we would look at what makes Scrum Scrum. But in this class, we've been able to go through the values of Scrum and how the values of Scrum relate with the empiricism of Scrum, which was in the last class. If you have any questions, please note them down and ship them across to me. I'll be glad to make further explanations on them. Thank you so much. I'll see you again in the next